From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A pleasant evening. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
Good evening, I'm Stefan Dialwis. Let's take a look at the main headlines for tonight. President says everyone should come together to create a better country and a future generation. Prime Minister says Jaffna city will be transformed into a major city in the country as in the past. 3 suspects arrested over maintaining relations with Zaharan. A 5-member judge bench appointed to issue a determination on the law to conduct the provincial council elections. Minister Kabir Hashim says the date to sign the agreement for the new political alliance will be decided this Saturday.
For those and other stories in detail now, on your top story. President Maithripala Sirisena says that everyone should come together to create a better country and a virtuous future generation. The President made these comments while taking part in the opening ceremony of Smart Sri Lanka Vocational Training Institute in Kandy district today. The historical Kandy pageant or the Asala Maha Perahara was successfully concluded today. The award Nilame of Sri Dalada Maligawa Pradeep Nilangadala handed over the epistle to the President this evening. The water cutting rites were conducted this morning at Gatambe River Bank. At the conclusion of the water cutting rites, the day Perahara was conducted. That was at 3:12 p.m. auspicious time. The day Perahara that left the Asgiriya Gedigate temple returned to the Sri Dalada Maligawa at 5:07 p.m. The Diyavadini Nilame Pradeep Nilangadala and the Nilames of the 4 main Devalayas and the Nilames of the rural Devalayas who came in the Perahara were received by the President in front of the main entrance of the President's pavilion. Subsequently, Diyavadini Nilame handed over the epistle to the President. The President then awarded token gifts of honorarium to all those who participated in the Perahara as artists and skilled craftsmen. Then the President and all the Nilames appeared for a group photograph. Historic walking on the fire ritual was held at the Kataragama Mahadevalaya premises prior to the final Randoli Perahara. Subsequently, artists taking part in the Asla Perahara were blessed under the patronage of Basnayaka Nilame of Devalaya, Gamunuvale Sundara. Many devotees were present on this occasion.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that one of his primary objectives is to restore the war-affected northern region, including Jaffna, and transform Jaffna into one of the main cities in the country as in the past. A massive economic development is set to be initiated centering Jaffna in the next 5 years. In order to achieve this objective, the Prime Minister made these remarks during a ceremony in Jaffna today. The first phase of the Milithi Fisheries Harbour was declared open today under the patronage of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. 150 million rupees have been allocated for the project by the government. More than 21,000 families will be benefited from the project. The second phase of the project will be carried out under a financial allocation of 95 million rupees. The fisheries community in the area presented a memento to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister also took part in the event to hand over 10 houses built for the resettlement process in the northern province to the relevant families. More than 200 houses are expected to be constructed in the area. The opening ceremony of the Agri-Research Centre in Tirunelveli area in Jaffna was also held today. A sum of 30 million rupees was allocated for the project. Distribution of compensation and agri-equipment for the farmers who were affected from the damages caused to their cultivations in Valigamam and Tenmarachi was carried out in parallel to the ceremony. Prime Minister Wickremesinghe laid the foundation stone for the construction of the Fisheries Net Processing Centre at the Gurunagar Fisheries Harbour. Today, a sum of 75 million rupees has been allocated for the project under the highly effective and high priority initiative. The residents of the area presented a memento to the Prime Minister during this occasion.
But it was pointed out to me by Tanner the shortcomings here, so I have asked my secretary to talk with the Ministry of Fisheries and the UDA and to have a plans for the measures mentioned here, the 500 houses which have encroached onto sensitive areas, the development of the harbour with certainly the lighthouse and the lightning, the five-story condominium, the developments that have to take place in this area. And I'm sure we'll meet up tomorrow. We can discuss it further at the district secretariat and then plan out how we are going to handle the development issues, including the channel that has to be cut. But I must tell you, Mr. Mayor, that we have to look at all this in the background of modernization of fishing. We have to have modernization of fishing in Sri Lanka, not only in the north and the east, but in the whole country, to move away from the traditional methods of fishing into modern fishing, into the sea, where we make use of what is now known as the blue economy. And looking at the problems that you're having, I've been talking with the Indian government on the trawler issue, and they've told me they're sorting it out. They're getting their people to go out into the sea, and also the need to strengthen our Coast Guard with a few more boats. I think those should give an answer to part of the problems you have. We've come here because we have launched a massive program of economic development, because we want the whole country in the next 5 years to really come in as the hub of the Indian Ocean. We cannot afford to have Jaffna lagging behind, because Jaffna was one of the most developed areas when I first came to Parliament. It is not so today. So we have also to ensure in a multifaceted way, in a multi-pronged strategy, that Jaffna also comes to the forefront, and they are also ready for the next stage of economic development, which we are planning, because that will really take us out of poverty for a segment of our people. Because today, though the incomes may be low in Jaffna, we are no longer even a low middle income country. We are a high middle income country. Then the Jaffna and the northern, eastern and the NCP and Monaragal and all the incomes must equal that of the rest of the country.
The Prime Minister also clarified on the measures of reconciliation taken by the government and the devolution of power.
We have returned 80,000 acres. There's 2,000 acres which has to be sorted out, of which about 900 is in Jaffna Peninsula. Some of the lands in dispute are in the one where there's a lot of land available, unlike here in Jaffna. And we are working on a gradual release system. Even the numbers in detention have been reduced to a handful, about 70, 80. We have either those who are undergoing trial or those who have been convicted, but there have been appeals made taking into account that they have also been in custody for over 15 years. That's the life term of a prisoner. And to look at those, I think that's one of the issues that we are now looking at, and see to whom this could be applied. But we've gone beyond that. We have established the missing persons office, and they are going to have their office in Jaffna on the 24th. But they've been going around everywhere. We have had the office of reparation, and we have also politically been able to move towards reconciliation. Today you look at how people are moving around, and the Sri Lankan identity is coming back, returning to all of us. Of course, there are debates, yes, what exactly is Sri Lankan identity, where should it be, but in a democratic society, that has to take place. What is really needed now is the political solution, and how do we move forward on it, but not to the extent that is needed to finally ensure its implementation. So I was asked what the position of my party is. I must say I am for the sovereignty and unity of Sri Lanka as much as Mr. Sumandiran or Mr. Mahavi Senathirajah. But I also believe that the Tamils in this country must be able to live in equality, with dignity and with respect, and to be able to make their own decisions within the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. This is why, in regard to devolution, we got the Constituent Assembly, and we have now, we sat at the Constituent Assembly. I have always been supportive of most of the proposals that the TNA has put forward. In fact, the UMP did not put any proposals forward, but we didn't want to go counter, and we thought we could discuss you. We find a lot of similarity. I think there are only a few points that we would have to discuss, because the principles of devolution are now in the Constituent Assembly reports. And I must tell you that we stand by them. I was the chairman of that committee.
Mental health centre at the district hospital in Chava Kacheri was declared open today. A sum of 35 million rupees has been allocated for the project. Many MPs and ministers were present on this occasion.
Diverting back to our top story, President Maithripala Sirisena says that everyone should come together to create a better country and a virtuous future generation. The President made these comments while taking part in the opening ceremony of Smart Sri Lanka Vocational Training Institute in Kandy district today. The Smart Sri Lanka Vocational Training Institute, established to empower the skilled youth, was declared open today under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena this morning. The institute has been completed with all facilities in a building belonging to Kattigast Divisional Secretariat. While engaging in an observation tour at the institute premises, the President had a friendly conversation with the youth who have attended the event. Addressing the gathering, he said that he will fulfill his duties and responsibilities towards the betterment of the children of the nation. President Maithripala Sirisena said that this guidance program was introduced to strengthen the lives of the youth by improving their qualities and characteristics, including self-confidence, self-motivation, dedication, commitment and honesty. The President questioned on the positives and the negatives in the education sector. He pointed out the inhumane suffering endured by the students in several public universities through ragging. He added that he has received many letters and photographs pointing out their pain and suffering endured through the brutality and ragging. The President then said the victims who have endured the brutality of ragging are the brothers of the rest of the younger generation in the country. He said that the latest statistics have revealed that 20% of the students who get enrolled into the universities leave the university education. 10 to 12% of the 20% leave university education due to ragging. He said that the younger generation should be able to identify the challenge to succeed in the society with the high-tech world.
කතා කරන ස්මාර්ට් ශ්‍රී ලංකා අපි කතා කරන ස්මාර්ට් ජීවිතය අපි කතා කරන අධි තාක්ෂණික ලෝකයක් එක්ක සමාජයේ ජය ගැනීම මේ තිබෙන අභියෝග දරුවනේ ඔබ හඳුනාගත යුතු වෙනවා
ලංකාවේ පළවෙනි තාක්ෂණ අධ්‍යාපන පීඨය ඇති උනේ වෙන කොහෙවත් නෙවෙයි මේ දුම්බර හන්දෙස්ස ග්‍රාමීය අධ්‍යාපන පාසල නමින් ඔබතුමාගේ අවුරුදු 18 19 කාලේ තරුණ පරම්පරාව රස්තියාදු ගැහුවේ බෝක්කුඩ අද රස්තියාදු ගහන්නේ ස්මාර්ට්ෆෝන් එකේ
අපේ තරුණ තරුණයන්ට පාසලේ නිමුක් වුණාට පස්සේ අදහසක් නැහැ අපි මොනවද කරන්න කියන කාරණේ පිළිබඳව අපි හදලා තියන්නේ එහෙම වෙලාවට යන්න තැන ඒ වගේම දේශපාලඥයින්ද තමන් ළඟට එන තරුණයෝ රවට්ටන්න නැතුව යවන්න තැන ඒක තමයි මේ ස්මාර්ට් ශ්‍රී
Governor Sarath Ekanayaka and Rajitha Kirti Tennakun, State Minister Buddhika Patirana, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Vocational Training Authority, Council Ravi Jayawardena, Director General of Smart Sri Lanka Eric Prasanna Veerawardena were present on this occasion. Meanwhile, President Sirisena visited the newly built 100-bed ward complex at the Provincial Ayurvedic Hospital in Pallekele with the public today. The new ward complex was built under the guidance of Central Provincial Ayurvedic Department. The President also donated 2 lorries worth 17 million rupees to the hospital. Secretary to the Health Ministry, Vasanta Pereira, was also present on this occasion. A 5-member judge bench has been appointed to issue a determination on the law to conduct the provincial council elections after the President sought an opinion from the Supreme Court on this regard. Now for some court news in brief. Chief Justice Jayantha Jayasuriya will be the chairman of the 5-member judge bench. Judges Burnek Aluvihara, Sisira D. Abaru, Prasanna Jayawardena and Vijit Malalgoda will be the other members of the panel. The hearing will be considered on August 23rd. The Registrar of the Supreme Court informed the Bar Association to take steps to present written submissions on or before August 21st. The determination of the Supreme Court will be sent to the President on August 30th. The CID has produced renowned businessman Mohammed Ibrahim and his son, who have been detained for interrogation in connection with the Easter Sunday attacks before Colombo Fort Magistrate Ranga Disanayake today. Easter Sunday suicide bomber Mohammed Ibrahim Ilham Ahmed, who carried out the blast along with the leader of National Tawhid Jamaat Sahran Mohammed, is the other son of the renowned businessman. The suspect were produced before the magistrate to record evidence regarding the post-mortem of the suicide bombers. The further proceedings of the post-mortem will be convened on August 21st. The wife of the leader of National Tawhid Jamaat, Saharan Mohammed, made a confidential statement before the Colombo Fort Magistrate Ranga Disanayake today. She made the statement when she was produced before the magistrate to record evidence. The wife of Saharan, Fatima Khadia, and her 4-year-old child were brought into the court amid heavy security by the CID.
3 suspects who have acted as activists of National Tawhid Jamaat and Jamaat-e-Millat Ibrahim organization were taken into custody today. The arrest was made by the Ampara police in accordance to the information received from State Intelligence Service. A resident in Muruthavela, Mavanala, Mohammed Tasim Mohammed Akil is one of the suspects. He has taken part in a training camp in Norelia, which was conducted by the leader of National Tawhid Jamaat, Mohammed Zaharan. The second suspect taken into custody is Hizbullah Khan Husni Ahmed, a resident in Higula area in Mavanala. He has also taken part in a training camp in Norelia, which was conducted by the leader of National Tawhid Jamaat, Mohammed Zaharan. He has been given the name Abu Hamda by the terrorist organization. A resident in Muruthuela, Mavanala, Abdul Halim Mohammed Himaz, is the third suspect. He has taken part in a training camp in Hamban Thota, which was conducted by the leader of National Tawhid Jamaat, Mohammed Zaharan. He has been given the name Abu Mipta by the terrorist organization. Outgoing British High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, James Doris, says that positive expectations can be entrusted on the future of Sri Lanka. He made these remarks while issuing a special message before leaving the country after completing his 4-year tenure.
Hello, I'm James Doris. I'm British High Commissioner to Sri Lanka. I'm standing here in the Tooth Temple in Kandy. This is one of the most beautiful, historic buildings in the country. It's probably also the single most important religious place of worship in the country. It's important not just to Sri Lanka's Buddhists, but to Buddhists from around the world and to peoples of many other faiths as well. I feel privileged to have had the opportunity to serve my country as High Commissioner over the past 4 years. One of the things that has made my job so rewarding is the warmth of the welcome that I've been given. It's a warmth of welcome that everyone I know who comes here is also given. I also feel privileged because of the importance of the relationship that our two countries enjoy, and the so many things that unite us. We're united through history, through language, through trade and investment, through sport, and probably more than anything else, through people. As I look forward to Sri Lanka's future, I look forward with confidence. Sri Lanka has good reason to be confident about its future, for its extraordinary variety, for its natural resources, for its beauty, and more than anything else, for its talented people. If I want to make one recommendation, one hope as I think to the future, it's the hope that everyone who needs to do so will invest the time and give the importance that is needed to achieving real reconciliation between the peoples of different faiths and ethnic groups that make this country as culturally rich and varied as it is. Can I say thank you in closing? Thank you, Nandri, Istuti, and goodbye, Aiboan, Vanakkam.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi says all nations in the world should come together against global terrorism. He made these remarks at a special national ceremony to celebrate India's Independence Day in India's capital city, New Delhi. India gained its independence on August 15th in 1947 from the British rule. Henceforth, August 15th has been celebrated as India's Independence Day. The 73rd India's Independence Day national ceremony was held in the New Delhi under the patronage of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. Remembering the terrorist attacks occurred in Sri Lanka, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, Indian Prime Minister said that the supporters and sympathizers of terrorists should be exposed. Meanwhile, the flag hoisting ceremony to celebrate the India's Independence Day was held at the Indian High Commissioner's premises today. The ceremony took place under the patronage of Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Taranjit Singh Sandhu. In the gathering, he read out the official India's Independence Day statement issued by Indian President Sri Ram Nath Kovind. The Indian High Commissioner emphasized the need to further strengthen the mutual understanding and brotherhood between the nations in the future.
To take this occasion to extend our solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Sri Lanka who recently faced a terrorist attack And I want to once again reiterate what my Prime Minister said here, that India will always stand in solidarity with Sri Lanka against all the forces which extend and further terrorism in the world. I also take this occasion to extend all our solidarity with thousands of our brothers and sisters who are facing the natural disaster with recent floods in India.
The ceremony consisted of many Indian cultural dance performances. In parallel to the ceremony in Colombo, another flag hoisting ceremony was held at Indian Assistant High Commissioner's office premises in Kandy. The event was held under the patronage of Indian Assistant High Commissioner Jitendra Singh. North Central Provincial Governor Sarath Ekanayake was present on this occasion.
Minister Kabir Hashim says the date to sign the agreement for the proposed new political alliance will be decided during the meeting between the leaders of the UNP and other political representatives scheduled this Saturday. He made these comments at the signing of the agreement for the project to collect magnetic and gravity data in Mana and Kaveri Basin. Minister Kabir Hashim said that a meeting has been scheduled between the leaders of the UNP and other political representatives this Saturday. He said that the date to sign the agreement for the proposed new political alliance will be decided during the meeting. He said that they are expecting to propose to announce the presidential candidate on the same day of the signing of the agreement for the new political alliance. He said that the presidential candidate will be the person who has been requested by the people. The agreement was signed by Minister Kabir Hashim and General Manager of Belgio Enterprise John McFarlane. The purpose of the project is to bring down world-renowned oil companies to the country as the investors of oil exploration. Minister Kabir Hashim said that they are expecting to explore not only for natural gas but for crude oil as well. He said that investments for such explorations have become an issue for the government. Therefore, he said that the government has taken steps to promote the global community on this regard and then attract multinational companies to invest in Sri Lanka. He said that Jomal Company, the second largest company related to crude oil, has shown interest in investing in Sri Lanka. He added that the purpose of the project is to bring down world-renowned oil companies to the country as the investors of oil exploration.
Parliamentarian Mahinda Amaravira says that Sri Lanka Freedom Party has the ability to nominate a presidential candidate and the Central Committee of the party has already taken its decision to field a candidate. He made these remarks at a media briefing held at the party headquarters today. Parliamentarian Mahinda Amaravira says that efforts have been taken to make the 68th anniversary convention of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party a success on September 3rd. He added that the party expecting to gather active members of the party for the convention from across the country.
The Attorney General has informed the acting IGP to accelerate the police investigations related to 5 court cases and submit the relevant files to the Attorney General's department. Also, the Attorney General has directed attention on the submission of incomplete files by the police to acquire advice from the Attorney General. Directing a letter to the acting IGP, the Attorney General has pointed out that the relevant police investigations on the cases related to the murder of the veteran journalist Lasantha Wickrematunge, murder of 17 employees of an assistance team, murder of Wazim Tajuddin, abduction of journalist Keith Neuer, and abduction and disappearance of 11 youth are yet to be completed. Attorney General Dapula De Oliveira has mentioned that several reminders have been made to the police on this regard. He has cited that a long delay has occurred in the investigations. Issuing another letter to the acting IGP, the Attorney General has pointed out that the incomplete files submitted for the advice of the Attorney General will be returned to the police.
Robert Yukam presented his credentials to Minister of Foreign Affairs Tilak Marapane today, officially taking office as the new resident representative for UNDP in Sri Lanka. During today's occasion, newly appointed United Nations Development Programme Resident Representative to Sri Lanka, Robert Yekam, had pointed out the need for integrated development solutions to end poverty, protect the planet and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity. The UNDP office said in a media release. He has previously served in the positions of Strategic Planning Advisor, Deputy Country Director, Team Leader and Deputy Chief during his career at the UNDP, which began in 1997. He had also served as the District Electoral Supervisor and Civic Education Specialist for a UN peacekeeping mission in Cambodia. With close to 30 years of experience in international development, newly appointed UNDP resident representative to Sri Lanka, Yekam has been instrumental in shaping policy and programming for advocacy and strategic partnerships, particularly in Asia and Europe, according to the media release.
Minister Ravi Karunanayake says that Sri Lanka is focusing on gaining investments for the country's power sector, while further strengthening the friendly ties with Switzerland. He made this statement during a meeting with Switzerland's ambassador to Sri Lanka, Hans-Peter Mock, at the ministry recently. The Swiss ambassador has paid a special attention to the Surya Bala Sangrame solar power project, which is currently being implemented island-wide. He has also directed his attention on the net plus and net metering systems that are in place related to the project. The ambassador has further inquired from the minister of their implementation and the benefits to the consumer as well as to the Ceylon Electricity Board as an institution. He has noted that investors in Switzerland will be encouraged to invest in the solar power industry in the island nation. The minister has said that Sri Lanka is turning to renewable energy sources and added that Sri Lanka has reached a significant level through renewable sources such as solar and wind. He said that the solar power project implemented island-wide has reached an optimal level and measures will be taken to develop the project further. The ambassador has emphasized that Sri Lanka is ahead of the rest of the region in providing electricity. The Travel and Leisure website has declared that Sri Lanka has emerged as the world's best island to travel in 2019. This is in accordance to a survey carried out by the website. According to Travel and Leisure, this was the first time Sri Lanka made into the list and straight to the top with a high score of 92.12. In its description on Sri Lanka, the website has cited that roughly 25,000 square mile island tempts travellers with a diversity of experiences. Along with its natural wonders and destinations for surfers, snorkelers and divers, inland tea plantations await explorations and wildlife parks. The website cited that it is no wonder that the island nation is called the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. Philippines' islands of Palawan made second place on the list, followed by Bali, Milos, Maldives and Anguilla. Every year for its World's Best Award survey, Travel and Leisure asks readers to weigh in on travel experience around the globe and share their opinions on the top cities, islands, cruise ships, spas, airlines and more.
Police spokesman SP Rangunasekara says that the successful completion of the Kandy Sri Dalada Perahera is a guarantee for the country's national security. He made these comments during a media briefing held in Kandy today. Police spokesman SP Rangunasekara said that the police headquarters extends a special appreciation and a gratitude for being able to complete the Kandy Sri Dalada Perahera successfully. He said that all officers from the police and the tri-forces fulfilled their duties with utmost dedication and commitment. He then extended the gratitude of the police towards the tri-forces for the support given to ensure the security during the festival. He said that the successful completion of the Kandy Sri Dalada Perahera is a fine example for the country's national security. Minister Sajith Premadasa says that he will begin an era for the youth to fulfill their aspirations in the future. He made these remarks during a ceremony to vest 3 model villages built under the Samara Sevana Yali Pipidana Udagammana program with the public today. The new villages have been built in Randunuwatta, Tissamaharama area in Hambantota. The villages have been named as Saruturu Liagama, Soba Nillagama, and Sara Haritagama. The villages consist of 71 housing units built at a cost of 63.6 million rupees. Several social welfare programs were organized in parallel to the ceremony.
The all-share price index closed at 5,917.15 points, dropped by 32.15 points, and the S&P SL20 index closed at 2,904.59 points, also dropped by 49.61 points. At the end of trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today, turnover was over 1,087 million rupees. Here is a summary of market details of the Colombo Stock Exchange today. That's it for the news this evening. Have a good night.
Good night.